following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Daniel Birds in March 2025. In the video, Daniel and a group of his friends set out for a shuttle day of downhill mountain biking on a rugged mountain trail in Laguna Beach, California. At the beginning, everything seemed to be going perfectly. The crew was fired up because recent rain had dialed in the dirt. The trail work they'd done was holding strong, and aside from a couple of minor mechanical issues, their first laps flowed without any real problems. As the session went on, they completed multiple downhill laps, charging through steep technical sections and gaining more confidence every time. By the sixth run, they'd reached the most dangerous part of the entire trail, a brutally steep, exposed rock face, known as the CB Roller, the section that feeds directly into the infamous Crank Brothers drop. At the top, one of the crew members, Tommy, immediately warned everyone how sketchy it was and made it clear there was zero pressure to ride it. He stressed that it was not a race, told them to ride in control, and reminded them that it was completely fine to walk or take the ride around if they were not feeling it. Then one of the younger riders, Noah, dropped in first and made it through successfully, proving the line was possible at the right speed and with the right control. Watching that, Daniel decided to follow Noah's line into the drop, trying to match his speed and trajectory.
This is it, right? Yeah.
Whoa. Hey, looking at this mother.
Big boy, Noah.
There he goes.
Easy. Here, I'll go.
Oh, shit! No, hang on! Fuck! No!
He kept going!
No!
Shit! No, hang on! Oh shit! He's still going! He kept going!
No!
He kept going!
Oh!
Oh! He's still going! Oh my god!
No!
He kept going!
No!
He kept going!
With Daniel falling over the edge and disappearing 120 feet down the cliff, his entire body was swallowed by the rock below. For a few terrifying seconds, his friends could only stare in stunned silence. No one knew if he was even alive, and they were certain they had just witnessed the worst-case scenario unfold. Then they sprinted and scrambled down the mountain, shouting his name and trying to spot any movement on the slab below, knowing this was the kind of fall that usually ends in tragedy. As they closed the distance, all they could do was hope they wouldn't be too late. However, just as their darkest fears began to feel real, a faint voice finally echoed up from below. It was their friend Daniel calling out that he was okay.
I'm good!
Are you good? Good! He was
You
way too
fucking
fast.
kidding me?
I'm good!
Daniel!
I'm good!
Are you sure?
Yeah. Where's my bike?
It's fine, your bike's fine, dude.
Dude, are you sure you're okay?
Totally okay. My GoPro's not. I'm okay, thank God. Look what I just came down.
Yeah.
I slid down the entire thing.
Dude,
Huh?
you gotta stop doing this trail. Every time you do
Dude, my fucking sick to my stomach right now.
blue, bro.
Dude,
He laid it right there. That's his head.
yeah.
Oh, that's his body.
I'm not gonna do it, dude. Fuck that.
Dude.
Let's take his bike up. Dude.
That was fucked.
Because I saw him reach and grab that, I'm like, fuck yes. And then when you said he kept going, I'm like, dude, there's no way you could survive that. That was a mental fuck, dude. Dude, what was going through your mind on that, dude?
I was praying.
I saw your hand grab the wall. So I was like, fuck yeah, he got it. And then Noah said, dude, he fell again. I was like, oh my God, dude. Because you slid there,
Yes.
that's what saved you.
Yes. Instead of like
Yes,
rolling,
you would have been fucked.
I was praying as I
Yeah.
was sliding on the thing, going, God, please, not like this.
Yeah. Well, that's what
Because
saved
I was
you,
like,
man.
I couldn't. I was
Yeah.
like, I wasn't stopping,
Yeah.
and I was going faster. This might be the dumbest thing I've ever done, but I'm gonna do this thing again because
Against all odds, Daniel miraculously survived the 120-foot fall. His friends were in complete disbelief, as they had just watched him disappear down one of the steepest slabs on the trail and were fully expecting the worst. A fall like that, especially on exposed rock with a sheer drop beside it, was the kind of crash that usually ended in life-changing injury or worse. The only reason Daniel walked away was because of how he fell. Instead of being launched into open space or tumbling uncontrollably, his body stayed mostly in contact with the rock, sliding down the face and slowly bleeding off speed as he scraped his way to the bottom. It was still an absolutely brutal ride, but that constant contact with the surface, as painful as it was, likely kept him from slamming into ledges or flipping off the cliff entirely. In the aftermath, the whole crew realized they had just witnessed a 1 in a million outcome. Daniel was hurt, but he was alive, and everyone knew that came down to pure luck. Later, once things calmed down, Daniel talked through what had actually gone wrong. He explained that on the way in, he had been carrying just a bit too much pace and lost brake control on the steepest part of the rock, and a small mistake at the top tipped him into an uncontrollable slide. From there, gravity did the rest. At that angle and speed, there was no room to recover, reset his body position, or safely brake. In the end, Daniel was unbelievably lucky to walk away from a 120-foot fall and survive a crash he realistically shouldn't have. Remarkably, he walked away with only minor bruises on his elbows, avoiding the catastrophic injuries you'd normally expect from such a terrifying fall. The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel by Heza in February of 2026. In the video, the creator decided to go solo overnight camping in the snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains. His plan was to test his newly built Honda Element winter camper by doing a cozy overnight car camping trip in the snow, cooking a full multi-course meal, and then sleeping there. At the beginning of the video, he spent hours transforming the car's interior into a tiny winter cabin and packing it with camping essentials and safety equipment. After driving deep into the snowy mountains and parking near a river, he settled in for the night and started cooking an elaborate dinner inside the car. After finishing his meal, he settled into the camper, fully embracing the cozy atmosphere, and decided to get some much-needed rest. However, as he was winding down, a car suddenly pulled up and blocked his vehicle, and before he could even fully process what was happening, a stranger approached and began screaming at him to open the door.
Hey! Hello, who is this? Can I help you? Hey! What can I do for you?
Open the door!
How may I help you?
Open the door!
I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Hey, what are you doing?
It's been like 2 weeks since this happened and my heart rate still goes through the roof anytime I watch this back. What you can't really see in this video is that the car that drives up and starts honking actually first fully blocks in my car. Someone comes out of the car with a flashlight, fully just blinding me, so I can't really see what's going on outside. I try to speak to him and he's just not responding. It's dead silence. He then suddenly starts banging on the window, yelling at me to open the door. He even goes for the handle of the door. And man, once I heard the aggression in his voice, my heart just fully sank. I realized that this was not a friendly encounter, so I reached around from the back and started up the car. I slide in the driver's seat. He gets even more aggressive, starts banging on all my windows, continues yelling at me to open the door. At this point, it got a lot colder, so the snow underneath the car is more frozen. My wheels are spinning in place, not catching traction. He's still blinding me with his flashlight. He aggressively rips off my mesh bug net, keeps banging the window harder and harder until he fully breaks it in. And I'm showered with shards of glass in my face. And praise the Lord Almighty, right at this point, my wheels catch traction and there's just enough of an angle there where I can squeeze past his car, get around him, and get myself out of there. You can see my left eye rapidly blinking here. It was blurry the entire way home, and after getting it checked out, it appears that some of the glass had scratched through my eyeball. I've been going through treatment for that, and I can now see more clearly, which is pretty great.
In the aftermath of these chilling events, he confessed that he still had absolutely no idea what the stranger had wanted from him, only that this man had deliberately boxed his car in, blinded him with a harsh flashlight beam, and jumped straight to aggression and violence instead of using a single word. He had gone into the trip imagining a completely different ending, waking up to a quiet winter morning, stepping outside to the sound of the river, cooking breakfast, and slowly sipping coffee in the snow before heading home. Instead, that peaceful vision was violently replaced by a frantic escape in the middle of the night, shattered glass all over his bed setup, and an unexpected visit to the eye doctor to deal with the damage to his vision. As he reflected on everything that had happened, he talked about how exposed and vulnerable he felt. The thought of how quickly the situation escalated stayed with him, but so did a sense of gratitude that he had listened to his instincts, stayed inside the relative safety of the car, and focused entirely on creating an opportunity to escape, rather than confronting the stranger head-on. In the end, he admitted that the entire ordeal shook him much more deeply than he had expected, and turned what was meant to be a peaceful winter camping trip into a harsh reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control, even when you do almost everything right. If you've enjoyed the video so far, it would mean a lot if you considered subscribing. Over 95% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. Your support really helps the channel grow, and in return, I promise to keep bringing you guys the best quality content. Now let's get back to the video. The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Roaming Reckless in October 2025. In the video, an outdoor adventure vlogger named Danny set out on a solo truck camping trip with her dog Tazzy in the desert of western Colorado. She planned to spend the few calm days truck camping and then use the following days to explore the canyons and river area around the camp. For most of her first day, everything went smoothly, and both Danny and Tazzy enjoyed their time in the Colorado desert. That night, however, a powerful storm rolled in, and the wind and thunder kept them on edge until morning. At sunrise, she realized how bad things had become. It had stormed hard all night, her boots sank deep into the muddy ground, and the entire campsite had turned into thick, greasy clay. Danny eventually explained that she hadn't checked the forecast before driving onto this notorious gumbo soil, and now that the once solid road had turned into slick mud, she could not safely drive on. Later, while eating breakfast and editing, she received a severe weather alert. The area was under a flood watch as part of a record-breaking storm. After seeing hours of heavy rain in the forecast and knowing the dry creek nearby could flood and wash out the road, she chose to stay put and monitor the rising water, rather than risk trying to leave. With the ground now undrivable, the road threatened by flooding, and more storms on the way, Danny suddenly found herself trapped and stranded in the middle of the desert.
The issue that we're running into is that we are in a flood watch, which there are people that have camped at this site before that said that the dry creek will flood and it washes away the road, or at least it has with people before. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on things. I didn't want to move because this is like gumbo mud and you can get stuck really easily. It's happened to me before. I didn't want to risk it, but obviously I'll keep an eye on it because if water levels start rising, we're just gonna have to get out of here and deal with it the best that we can. There's already water down there, which it was completely dry yesterday, but obviously water is coming through the slot canyon, so we're just gonna have to monitor that. The rain is picking up for sure. Just monitoring all the water levels. And for everybody out there who's like, why aren't you just leaving now, or why didn't you leave earlier? It's because the mud is already so gumbo-y that I am not confident that it wouldn't like get me stuck. So I would rather just wait out the rain and leave when it's dry and be good. Is that kind of a gamble? Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. I'd rather just wait it out. I'm watching the water levels. If they start to pick up in the next couple of hours, we'll just off-road through the vegetation to get out of here. I think we're actually at a high enough elevation above the water that we'll be fine. It's just gonna be a waiting game until it dries out. But we'll see.
After waiting for hours, the heavy rain continued to pour down and it became clear that she was stranded, and her only real option was to stay put and spend the night there, hoping the weather would improve and the area wouldn't flood. Disturbingly, Danny also realized she couldn't count on rescue either, because the same slick gumbo mud that trapped her would stop any vehicle trying to reach her. As the day went on, the weather worsened. The once dry creek started flowing with muddy water, and repeated waves of rain and thunder increased the flood risk. As darkness and heavy rain settled over the desert, she kept a close eye on the water levels in the road, but decided against moving. However, the situation soon took a very bizarre turn. When she went out into the dark to check the creek with her headlamp, she saw eyes reflecting back at her from the water and heard something moving near her campsite.
After a while, I finally found a break in the rain to take Tazzy outside one last time before bed. However, when I ran over to check on the dry creek, quote unquote, water levels, I heard something sloshing in the water, only to look up and see a pair of eyes reflected directly back into my headlamp. Freaked me out. Okay, I ran back to the troopy as quick as I could. Okay, that was freaky. Okay, I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was an animal or a person, but I heard the water moving when I was like heading over there to check it, and then something reflected off of the headlamp. We're locked in here, so we're fine, but I was not about to go down there and figure out what that was. Well, I don't know what that was, but we're covered, so no one can see in here at all. Looks like it's gonna be raining all night and through the morning, so, and we're still on flood watch.
Although Danny wasn't entirely sure whether the reflection belonged to an animal or a person, it was enough to scare her away from the creek and keep her on edge, especially since she was certain she heard the sound of water sloshing and saw the eyes. She even secured all the doors, pulled the covers down to block any view inside, and reassured herself that they were safely sealed in. Despite her fear, leaving or relocating wasn't a realistic option, and the ongoing bad weather made driving out in the dark too dangerous and risked getting her even more stuck. Her only viable choice was to stay put and wait it out. She then settled Tazzy upstairs, gave her toys and chews, and tried to relax by reading as the rain continued, attempting to treat it like a normal night, even though she was clearly rattled. However, as the night progressed, the noises returned, but this time coming from just outside her campsite.
That was crazy. Sorry to wake you up, Tazzy. Coyotes out there or something. Oh my gosh, I see them. Yeah, I literally see him out there. Funny. It's probably what I saw earlier in the river.
After hearing coyotes outside her campsite, Danny was a bit rattled but faced no direct threat, and eventually made it through until morning. By then, the heaviest rain had passed, and the forecast showed no new storms, although the area remained under a flood watch. Over the course of the day, conditions gradually improved. The sun returned, the river level dropped, and the mud began to firm up, though it remained messy and still unsafe to drive on. After nearly 3 days stuck there, Danny felt cautiously optimistic that the worst was behind her and went to bed planning to check the mud in the morning, and if it seemed solid enough, drive out and safely escape the desert. However, that plan was shattered when in the middle of the night she woke to a life-threatening severe weather and hail alert that gave her only 1 hour to act, forcing her to attempt an emergency escape on partially dried but still dangerous gumbo mud.
Says possible threat to life or property. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Hail damage possible. Take action within the next hour. Okay. Yeah, you got it. It's so stupid too because this just freaking alerted us. Almost 2 in the morning. I couldn't have predicted hail earlier in the evening when it was in the middle of the freaking night. The rain's already started. Great. And here comes the wind. Okay. Lightning. Oh, I think these pillows are giving me hell. Yeah, I think I just need to head towards town. All right. right, think clearly, woman. No rash decisions. Oh my gosh, you guys see that lightning? It's coming for us. We're literally stuck in this freaking gumbo. I'm not even joking. See that? Are you kidding me? I think I'm literally stuck. Oh, there's no way. Now's where I get to get mad at myself because I thought that it had dried up enough to get me out today. Oh, a little bit of rain earlier, but there was so much sun out. I thought I would be able to just like take the 2-track back, but now it's like I got stuck at one low point, and this is that gumbo mud. This is exactly why I haven't moved in the last 3.5 days, because I was worried this was gonna happen. And of course, I get a hail warning and I'm worried and I try to leave in the middle of the night, and now I'm stuck here at 2 in the morning. It's so unfortunate, and the hail is coming right for us. Shoot.
The moment the truck lurched to a stop and the wheels began to spin uselessly in the slick clay, Danny realized she was well and truly stuck, and the hail was still incoming. The tires were completely caked in gumbo mud. The truck had sunk into deep water-filled ruts, and every attempt to move forward or backward only smeared the clay and dug her in deeper. Knowing that more throttle would only bury the truck, and with no trees or solid anchors anywhere nearby for recovery gear, she had almost no safe options. With the storm still active and the mud worsening, she decided to stop trying to fight it and wait for daylight rather than risk making the situation unrecoverable in the dark. She then spent the rest of that night mostly waiting it out in the truck rather than sleeping, while thunderstorms and lightning were active in the area, and more rain passed through as she sat stuck in the mud. Even though neither she, Tazzy, nor the truck ended up getting directly harmed by the storm, she was on edge the entire time, worried about hail, wind, and what could happen if the weather suddenly got worse while they were immobilized. When morning came, she could finally see the full extent of the mess. She spent hours digging out ruts, draining water, airing down the tires, laying down whatever she could find for traction, and inching the truck back onto firmer ground. By late the next day, after the sun had dried the road enough and her recovery work had paid off, she finally drove out of the desert, reached the main road, and left the muddy ordeal behind. In the end, after days of being stuck and stranded, trapped by gumbo mud, pinned down by relentless storms, and even facing a life-threatening hail warning, Danny at last reached firm pavement and escaped the desert for good, leaving behind one of the most challenging and exhausting trips she had ever faced.